Have you ever bought something and then looked at it and was like, damn, this thing probably cost only 3 cents to make, and I just dropped some bank on it? Well, today I'm bringing you 7 of the most overpriced things that people buy, and this is for a variety of different reasons. Products with these ridiculous markups exist only because some person out there is willing to pay that price. Somebody somewhere out there is willing to pay these ungodly prices because of whatever reason, whether convenience, perceived value, or just sheer ignorance. But it's okay because a lot of these markups can be avoided if you just understand them and have a solution around them. Now, one thing that is not marked up whatsoever is just lightly tapping that like button because it really helps out the channel and I really appreciate it. I promise it's only zero cost. Seriously, it only takes a second. I'm waiting. Okay, without further ado, let's jump right into it. And number 1, I'm starting it off with a banger. Number 1 is designer water. And this is anything like Fiji, Voss, or any of those bougie waters out there. Don't buy them. They are severely marked up. And yes, every single time that you buy one of those bottles, you are paying a markup of over 280,000%. Mind-boggling. Which, even if you're not buying those designer brands and decide to go with the generic version or warehouse version, you're still getting a fat markup of 400%, so you might as well stay away from those. The solution is really simple. Just go on Amazon or whatever like that, go and buy one of those Brita water bottles, and you can just fill it up at home. It'll be all filtered out, so you have clean water, there's no metals, chemicals, or toxins or whatever in it, and you should be good. Number 2 is pre-cut veggies and fruits, and yes, veggies and fruits aren't too expensive by themselves, but when you cut them up and people sell them in individual packaging, it is a crazy markup, up to 40% just for someone to cut the damn fruit. The solution is again very simple. Just go to your local farmer's market or wherever you get your fruits and veggies, cut it up and put it in a couple Ziploc bags. The kids won't understand the difference and you will save a lot of dough in the meantime. Sprinting on to number 3, and that is going to be college textbooks. Now, through 2014 to 2015, there was a study done showing that college students paid on average about $1,000 a year for textbooks, specifically brand new ones, and they can come with a hefty price tag that is marked up as well, up to over 200% on these books, which is just outrageous, especially because the students are almost forced into this. But luckily, you guys are watching this, and of course, you guys aren't nimwits, so go to a place like Chegg. I know the Gates Foundation also has some kind of free textbooks that you can go and download as PDFs. Of course, go and look at reselling books, whether that's from previous students or something like that, and of course renting, because typically when you buy the book, you're not really going to need it after that semester. There's a ton of different marketplaces out there where you guys can go and grab these textbooks, and it's not uncommon to grab a smacking deal where someone has no use for that textbook anymore and will basically give it to you for pennies. Number 4 is designer handbags, and places like Coach, Gucci, all those places have severe markups as well. A lot of those companies actually private label those handbags, and they're made in the exact same factories as some of the like general branding or stuff like that, where you're getting essentially the same damn thing. These markups can be anywhere from as low as 100% up to crazy percentages like 5 to 10,000% on some specific handbag. Yes, you might look rich because you have it in your possession, but everyone who understands anything about business and how to sell these products understands that that was just a stupid purchase. Poor people try to act rich and the rich act poor, and the reason why the rich are because they act poor, so don't go trying to flex a damn handbag because all the people that actually have money will look at you and just say, yeah, you're pretty dumb. And of course, if you go into some bougie areas, you guys can always go and look at some consignment shops where if you really want those designer handbags, you can go and get them severely marked down just because someone owned them first. According to Wall Street Journal, the average designer jean is also marked up over 200%, on average about 260%. Designer jeans can be like $200, which again, all the rich people understand that jeans are just jeans and they're just denim covering your legs. It doesn't really matter if they say True Religion or Wrangler. Nobody really gives a shit. And yes, I know that there's jeans that are way over that price point, like Neiman Marcus jeans can go almost to $600, and I'm sure there's a couple pairs above that, which I'm not really that surprised that some idiots will go and pay that. But again, denim is denim, and you guys can go and get that cheap as hell from the local thrift shop, or if you want those designer brands, again, which I still don't really understand, you guys can go to those consignment shops, which might have some smacking deals, as well as any TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and there's a ton of other places where you guys can find these. Even on Facebook Marketplace, you just will have to do a little bit of searching. But at the end of the day, it is just denim, so you might as well just stroll down to the local Walmart or thrift shop because it's the same material. Number 6, unfortunately, might not be able to be avoided too much, and this is prescription drug. Unfortunately, these drugs can be very expensive. Depending upon your insurance policy, they can even be more money out of pocket. According to AHIP coverage, they estimate that these prescription drugs are marked up approximately 440%. There's not too many ways around this, especially if the pharmaceutical company does have the patent for it, although I highly suggest just asking the doctor, hey, do you have any free samples lying around? And yes, you guys actually can get some. I've heard of stories where people were given some free samples that were in the doctor's office, and that saved them over $500. And of course, once you get to the pharmacy, just ask them like, hey, is there any alternatives that will basically do the same thing for me? Sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't, but at least to ask. Number 7 is quite widely known that there's ungodly markups, and people consistently buy them for whatever mind-boggling reason. On average, these frames can have the markup of about 500% or more. If you're at the eye doctors and look around at any of the frames, they can be very pricey, anywhere from like $200 to $300 to even $400 for these frames. Now again, they understand that you are almost a captive customer, and they will provide a ton of markups right there, very convenient for you at the doctor's office. But take a step back. Hopefully you have a wholesaler's membership like Costco or BJ's. Look online, and typically they have some pretty good deals there. Number 8 is a very guilty pleasure of a lot of Americans, and this is coffee and tea, specifically coffee. I hope you guys understand that you're not really paying for the coffee, you're really just paying for someone to serve you the coffee, which that's just not worth the money. And again, the solution to this is very simple. Just start brewing the coffee and tea by yourself. Go to TJ Maxx, buy a $10 French press, and of course they have some smacking deals on coffee there as well, where you can get a bag for anywhere from $5 to $10. That will provide you with over 50 cups of coffee, which is the equivalent to like $250 if you went to Starbucks every day, for what, $10? Now I know Americans are impatient, but just wait for the water to boil and just brew it yourself. Put it in a bougie cup if you really want it with the little Starbucks logo, and nobody will really know the difference. And if you want the like sweet cold foam and stuff like that, you can always get that from your local grocery store and just play around with the different mixes. And a lot of the times you can go and find the recipes for your favorite drink online and go and grab those ingredients and you should be all set. Now 9 is for those people who have just bought their first apartment or house or anything and they want to furnish it. And yes, I'm talking about furniture, of course, and everyone's really excited to go and purchase this furniture, although they don't understand the severe markups that they're paying. CBS Money Watch estimates that people pay over 80% markup fees on this furniture. And yes, I understand it can be very appetizing and very convenient and when you're just caught in the moment seeing these. It's very common in any boutiques and higher end stores like Nordstrom or even Macy's. Now get your shrewd negotiation pants on and just heckle with the price a little bit. A lot of those furniture stores can come down on price and continue to make a profit on them. This is especially true if you're paying cash for that furniture, because then they don't have the credit card fees on top of that, which will save them money on the backside. And of course, just look online. Typically, you guys can go and find distressed furniture, go scrape it down a little bit, give it a slap of paint, and it should be all set, and you guys can get a little bit creative with it, and nobody will really know the difference. It actually can be quite fun, and that's the exact way that I got both my desks in the studio, is I actually got them from the local school system that were just throwing them out, and they were perfectly good desks. I sanded them down, coated them, and now they work fine. They easily could have been over $500 for the two of them, but I got them for $0, and again, you guys can find the same smacking deals. If you watched till this point and you didn't get the first memo, of course, drop a like and comment just to help the YouTube algorithms, and if you're not subscribed, what are you doing? By knowing the products with the highest markups, you can change your spending habits, and a lot of the time that will put a lot more cash in your pocket. I'm a massive advocate for saving as much money as you can, putting it into investments, and letting it grow throughout time. That money can serve much greater purposes such as emergency funds, paying off debt, future investments, you name it, besides a damn $5 cup of coffee, people. Okay, that's it for today. Hopefully you guys learned something in today's video. And of course, see you guys next time and good luck in the markets.